these kinds of discussions are, best started with just kind of a high-level perspective on how it all began. And with all of the experiences that you've had, Mounir, in the project management domain, and looking at all of the changes from a standards perspective, from a methodology perspective, from a technology perspective, you've seen so much, and I look forward to digging into that with you. But let's just start with the origin story. How did this all begin for you and SUKAD and Uruk?
Interesting. Let me start with a bit of a historical perspective about myself. I'm an immigrant. I came to the US after high school, I studied engineering, worked in engineering, went back to school and got a master's degree in engineering in construction management. And that was 30 plus years ago. In those days, there was no university degrees, whether at the undergraduate or the postgraduate level, that are focusing on project management. So my degree was in engineering in construction management, which is a project management for capital facilities project. And with that, I joined Exxon Chemical in those days and had the opportunity to learn and to work on multitude of project and different roles, from estimating to project control, to project engineering, to project management as a project manager on plant size project, what we call revamp, or, with facilities that are operating where you go and do modification project. Some people call them brownfield, we call them revamp. I had the chance to work on small multiple project, and I had the chance to work on mega project. So I gained significant amount of experience, and I was fortunate to be involved in working on 2 mega projects before I left the US and went to work for Saudi Aramco in Saudi Arabia. But with the mindset that I wanted to do a company, and we started SUKAD with a few friends back in 2004, 2005 in Dubai. Now that SUKAD, the company we had in Dubai, and which was operating from 2005 to 2019, was primarily a project management training company with some consultancy work as well. And PMI being so popular and in hot demand with certification, obviously a lot of our early courses and training were on project management certification. So as I am curious personality type, and then as I work with my client, I'm not focused only on delivery. I'm also focusing on learning, on the market. And what we discovered, there are huge gaps in practice. And the gaps were in multiple areas. First, the focus on certification training, it was challenging because organization wanted to do something popular, and the certification, especially the PMP, was popular. So they sent a lot of people to train on the PMP. However, their organizational processes and system for project management either did not exist or did not align with PMP and PMI. So it became like the first gap we noticed is like these companies are spending money on training people on getting a certification. It's like they are teaching their people getting to learn a foreign language that they cannot use at work. Because when those PMPs, assuming those people achieve the PMP, come back to work, their system doesn't align, so they cannot practice it. That was the first gap in practice. The second gap in practice, what we noticed as well, is that there is a lot of focus on theory and certification, but not enough focus on real-world project management. And as a result, we noticed a lot of organizations do not have a practical approach for managing project. They did not have a proper methodology or project management systems in place. Or if they have something, it was mostly, back of the envelope kind of things, working using Excel or PowerPoint. And one of the jokes we had one time shared with us in one of our classes is that one of the participants said, in this company, we manage project by PowerPoints, which mean, it's only, we let the contractor and the consultant do the work, and they present to us through PowerPoint, and this is how we manage project. So that the gap in practice is the focus on certification training was leading to gaps between knowledge and what being practiced. A lot of organizations did not have the proper project management system. And if they have it, it was too purely focused on technical project management rather than holistic project management. So we start to think, what is missing? also, when we train people, we noticed that, yeah, we understand, Mounir, what you're saying here. We understand the PMI framework, we understand the process group, we understand the knowledge area, but I still do not know how to apply them in the real world. And that created a lot of soul searching. And then we started to do some research and development, initially with myself, and then with colleagues like Nada, she's on the call right now, Luke Bowman, who's in Australia today, and other people. And we started to realize that what we need is real world project management. So that's one thing. And real world project management means applied. That means the ability to apply, not just focus on theory and concept or achieving certification. And we still do not know how to manage project. I like to share a quotation here from an officer from a ministry. I think it was in Bahrain. He told me, Mounir, we just certified. These were the first people that focusing on getting certification. We just certified 50 people in our ministry, and we still do not know how to manage project. And that was kind of the triggers. These kind of comments we were hearing, they were the triggers that, something is wrong. So we need to have applied project management. How to apply project management in real world setting or real project from the government sector, NGOs, and private companies. So that was the first struggle or the first challenge that we wanted to encounter. And then we also noticed there is a lack of organizational system. So that was another challenge we have to deal with. We noticed the absence of pure project management, or real world project management in the sense of life cycle management. How to manage a project from inception to closure, which means how do we integrate with the business and operation? That was also lacking. So we took these challenges on, and there were other challenges as well, but these are the primary themes of the challenges and all the consequences that come along. And we decided to develop a methodology that reflect not only technical project management, meaning managing the delivery phase or managing implementation or managing a software development project, rather managing across the life cycle from inception, the point of time where that project became an idea, all the way into operation. And how do we do that successfully? So we wanted to do a project management methodology. So we created CAMMP. And CAMMP, meaning the customizable and adaptable methodology for managing project. It's actually a product delivery methodology that blend product delivery with project management. Now, what CAMMP also consider, and the reason we use the word customizable and adaptable, is that we realize the first challenge that I did not mention before, is that project management is different between different industries. So if you want to manage project in the banking sector versus the oil and gas, there are differences. The type of the project, if you want to manage an IT project versus a marketing project versus a finance project, or a facility project, or a medical facility, industrial facility, oil and gas, whatever the case might be, there are differences. So we cannot take the approach of one size fits all. So what we came up said, okay, what is the basic fundamental truths that relate to all type of project? And when we develop our life project methodology, which is start with the project life cycle, said, okay, every project, regardless where you come from, must have certain phases. We must do a discovery phase, we must do development of the concept phase, and then we do a delivery phase. These are universal, regardless what type of project you work on. But then how do we accommodate the different types of project? And we created what we call the stages of a project that are customizable and adaptable. And hence the name customizable and adaptable methodology for managing project, where we offer a standard method that is a generic, and from there we can tailor that method to be fit for purpose, depending on what type of project and industry, the type of the project, the industry you're working in, and the class of project. So even within facility project, a small, simple project like a house project should be managed somewhat differently than building a residential tower or an office tower. So these are the key challenges that we tackled in CAMMP. Now, CAMMP become well known. We did a lot of training when we were in Dubai on this across the region, and we published books about it. And then 2 years ago, a few friends and I said, okay, it's time to come up with a digital solution based on CAMMP. And that's how SUKAD Corp started in the US. We shifted to the US and launched SUKAD Corp to become the technology pivot of the old SUKAD, if we can call it that way, where we pivoted from being a training company with some consultancy into a software technology, methodology-driven company. And we started to use CAMMP as only one of the core knowledge foundation for Uruk. And that's how it all started. Long answer, but it provides extensive history of the progress of how we went from identifying the gap to research and development to creating a methodology and now to creating the digital solution, which is Uruk.
Thank you, Mounir. You know, one of the hallmark and